106 FM רדיו הר הצופים.
רדיו הר הצופים 106 FM, כל ישראל באוניברסיטה העברית, ספיישל ג'יזבוקס מיוחד לרדיו הר הצופים, במוזיקה ורעיון עם חברי הלהקה, לקראת הופעת השקה של הדיסק שלהם ביום שני הקרוב באוגנדה בירושלים. הדיסק יצא בלייבל אלמוט. כאן דודו המנחם, האזנה נעימה. So this interview is about Jizzbox and your new CD. Can you tell me a little bit about the band, past, present, future, if any?
Well, Gabi and I knew each other from America, and then he had to move to Israel. So I eventually came to Israel. Then before he came, I met up with Nadav. Excuse me. Let me clear my throat. I need a drink.
I can tell the story if it's a problem.
Yeah, you do.
Okay, me and Gabi know for a long time. He met Jon in the United States. At a certain point, Gabi went back to America, and Jon came to Israel. And me and Jon started talking. And we started playing together, I think.
You thought and I once. He came for vacation, and I was planning on going back home like a few weeks afterwards. Then like one of them had the idea to do an improvised show at the D1, just like Nadav on synthesizer, and we never played before up till then. And then like we were gonna do it, and then like the D1 had electricity problems, so it didn't happen. But like I already bought a megaphone, for the show, like we're all excited about it, and then it didn't happen. And then Gabi went back home, and there were some issues at the airport or something. He didn't do anything wrong, but he had to come right back. But like in that meantime, like in that like 2-day period, Nadav and I somehow got together, and then we played, and it was just like this nice improvised thing. Like Nadav had this melody, which is Machette. It turned to be Machette, and like he just started playing that, and I just started going
Machette,
off
the
on
song,
that.
of course.
Yeah, and then and it was awesome. And then so then Gabi came back, and then we all went to this guy's bomb shelter. And then we just started playing, and I recorded it on my camera, and it was still improvised, but Nadav did, the same Machette tune, and we just started going on that, and it was just awesome. And like we knew from then that we were a band, and we were going to pursue this. And then like from there, we would just meet up, and then we ended up having to go to Nadav's house, and then we just started like what we would do is we would just start rambling and improvising and recording on my camera. Then I would listen to it and just be like, whoa, that was really good. Let's build on that. And then that's how songs started.
We did our first show at the Rosa.
Yeah.
Omer, who used to work at the Rosa and at the Uganda, fixed the show. And Osnat embraced us, sort of speak. And it was a great show. Like, we had great...
feedback.
Yeah, feedback.
And what year was it?
What year? It was 2007.
Our first show was like 7 months after when we got together, so 7 months from Hanukkah time. So 2007. Yeah.
And Osnat never heard us before. We just came up and we're just like, let's do
She
a
said
show.
that we had a good air to us, and she trusted
She had
us.
a good feeling.
And it was a wonderful show because it was the Rosa, which mainly just like very cool old people hang out there. Not too old, I don't mean to offend them. But and afterwards it made us, and also like Nadav's parents came, his dad came, and like it was just like a nice atmosphere show. And it was our first show. We were very nervous, and we like came with very little planned, but just their feedback meant a lot to us and gave us a lot of confidence. And just like the atmosphere of the Rosa was just definitely fitting for us. And like, yeah, we don't have that show recorded, but like after that it was completely set that we would be a band, and this is it. And like,
Also, the majority of the first show was improvised. We had some like basic things.
And did you came with the same equipment? I mean, I saw you at Uganda with all this, I don't know, metal stuff, and it was the same thing then?
yeah, but it was just unconcentrated. Like, we just came with whatever we found and just kind of rambled. Like, we did some like noise intro, and there was like, I had a grate from like a grill, and I remember just like scraping the microphone on that, like, and putting like a lot of feedback on. But I don't think there was any metal percussion drumming.
We started with the metal percussion on the second show, which
yeah.
was also at the Rosa, and we hung them by a bar, and we had a friend who basically did the basic for the song, like the basis for the song.
This was the original
like
Pigeon
just
Walk.
tapping on the metal percussion, and Nadav and I drummed to that on percussion and drums, and so that's how that became a major aspect of Jizzbox.
From the second show, it's the same equipment.
Except after that, we bought a sampler. So then we just took like the dong 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 that he did live, the shit stuff hanging on the. Am I allowed to
Bar.
curse on it, or?
No.
It's okay to curse. Okay, I'm not gonna. I don't. But I just. and then we got the sampler. So then from there, like, that's when everything became formed. And then, like, we got a bass guitar and then whatnot. And then, but really for the most part, like, we only had 7 songs that we were able to do live, and that pretty much stayed the same from, like, the 3rd show till our last show. Yeah.
Describe the equipment. I mean, who plays what and how did the rehearsals goes?
And what rhymes with that?
No, but I think that people need to see your show and to understand what's going on, maybe more than just hearing the music.
Okay.
Describe.
The equipment, we have metal scraps that me, Gabi, and Jon found on the streets and collected. And we drilled some of the metal scraps and put them on the drum set. We have a sampler that we record on it, a bass guitar, loops of metal, and Gabi singing.
Different tapes, yeah.
And we have a synthesizer, a drum set, a guitar, and a bass guitar. We play on several equipment, and we all 3 rotate from one song to another.
And we switch around also on stage, and yeah.
But a very important part of Jizzbox, probably like really like, and this all came into effect after like the 2nd show. I have this small amp, like a Vox box amp, and I use the microphone. It's mainly for guitar effects and whatnot, but I use the microphone through that. And then in our 2nd show, it was at the Rosa again. And, like, the rows of the stage kind of changed. Like, the speakers were in, like, the place where, like, the drums used to be. So everything was more cluttered together. And, like, so much feedback was coming through. And then, like, I remember, like, before the show, I told Gabi, like, in Machette, play it quiet. It's just going to blast it with feedback, please. And he's like, yeah, I got you. And then, like, so Machette started. And not only did he play it, like, as loud as, he usually plays it, it ended up being, like, twice as fast as normal.
I was very nervous.
Yeah, we were. So that's how every show really got its style, just because of how nervous we were, if we were on speed or not, or just anxiety or just confusion with the equipment. And that's what gave us our style, huh?
Or the fights before.
Oh yeah, we always
the disturbing fights before.
No, so then he started playing, and just feedback was flooding the entire system, and it was all like something happened, like. Because of that so much feedback went on that my amp was never the same again. It was so much more sensitive to feedback. But it's also an effect amp. So I started to really, like, get into it and use the feedback and like manipulate the feedback, and then like depending on the place and the sound system of the place, like amazing things can happen with the feedback bouncing off the drums and just everything. And then like that really became an instrument in itself, like this box that just leaked a lot of feedback. And there was a lot of complaints on some shows about like over exploiting feedback, but like that's the stuff that gives me the chills, when it like just shrills your ears like and emphasizes the right thing like that. Yeah, so then that was a big part of it.
Feedback friendly.
Yeah.
And how do you work about the songs? I mean, how do...
Like any other band writing songs, we just finally would put it together. A lot of times we would just like have an idea, get the structure down, then start doing it. And then sometimes it would go off into something. But since we'd record it, then we're just like, well, we need to copy that.
There's a lot of like a main idea or whatever, and we start jamming. We improvise, then we hear the recording and we choose what we like, what we don't like. Sometimes we come with a premeditated idea, sometimes not. Something the jam session just take us to a beautiful place.
But the biggest like influence like anything had on like the structure is shows, because in a show like you start and you can't stop. You can't stop in the middle of the song, even if somebody went off, even if something's going weird. You have to follow through. And then like that adds so many ideas, and like then we try copying that basically. So it all came from just like being stuck with the song, like, and okay, yeah.
That's why the first show probably sounded so neurotic, because of what he just said, like following through with everything that's happening, whether it's good or not. Just you're on a stage, so you got to continue, kind of.
A good example of like how this like transformed a song is Clock Out the Mill. It's on the CD. The original Clock Out the Mill up to the second show was just like this very slow, scary, like machine sounding guitar, and it was just like, and then like our Uganda show we did with Literspiel, who was our third show. Again, like that was really crazy for us because there's a lot of like problems happening, and we were like so messed up, and then like, and it was also in the afternoon, so like we woke up early and we took some speed and we drank too much
ginger.
Coffee. I think I think
really fucked up our throats.
Yeah, we're like yeah, let's take some ginger, to smooth our throats out. But we just like took some frozen ginger and chewed it, and it just like destroyed us. Like it was retarded, but like
did not
so
feel
then
good.
So Clock Out the Mill, I'm on guitar and Nadav's on drums, and I'm also singing and Gabi's singing, and I remember like it starts off just like me on guitar with no drums, and like I hit the string and it was really loose, so it's just like a deep like blah. So like I just had to like do it fast, like for some reason, so it was just like blah 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 blah, and it was just like 3 times faster than it should have been. And then and Nadav is the drummer, but like he's awesome and he just went with it and flowed with it, and then like that ended up like being the new Clock Out the Mill, which they like definitely the other one more, and they wanted the other one to be on the CD. But this one is much more feel good and just much more. But like we're gonna have a compilation CD out that Alamut, which we'll talk about them later, is putting out. And the Clock Out at the Rose, like the scary, like the original Clock Out, is going to go on it.
none of our shows went according as planned as in the jam room. All of our show were, in our eyes, were a mess up. And eventually, after listening to the show, we really enjoyed what we heard, and then we embraced a lot of the mess ups to create our songs, to build our songs. And it's a problem when you don't know how to play any instrument and you still try to do music, although it's awesome. I don't know, it's great.
Avant-garde, you know.
Yeah.
Can you tell me, you said that you recorded your stuff on a video camera.
Yeah.
And can you tell me also about Tzachi and Lior, maybe the sound processing, maybe it was some kind of mastering afterwards?
Uri Cristal remastered it from Mujahideen, and Tzachi and Lior created the label Alamut, and that's what the CD is coming out of. So, thank you.
Thank you very much, Tzachi and Lior. Their label Alamut is a DIY label, and thank for them very much. They because of them we released the CD. They managed everything. They gathered the cover and they printed the CD and all, and it's awesome, really.
What are the differences between the recordings on the video camera, let's say, and what became afterwards?
Uri did a good job.
Yeah,
he did what he could. See, I don't know. This is like a big thing because, like, since it just came from a camera, it's one layer. So it, like, completely depends, like, on what you're listening to. Like, I heard the CD on Vova's stereo system, and it was crap. Like, and I got nervous. And I like it on my Discman with my headphones, but then, like, his is more like, it's hard to, like, you can't multi-channel this kind of thing. So then, like, I took it to Uganda one night when they were closed, and, like, I was playing it on their sound system and messing with you just have to have, like, the right, and whatever, like, you're used to listening to. Like, I'm used to, like, with my headphones, just very high-pitched, like, just very, like, machine-like. But then, like, most people, I think, are more like it bassier, and in clubs, I'm sure, like, they'll keep it bassier. And, like, music like this, one thing, you know. And then, like, you have to listen to this aloud or it's just weird and awkward. But then, like, you can't listen to it so loud because there's a lot of feedback. But if you have, like, a deep sound system that doesn't, like, get muffled from bass, then you can, like, really hear the CD. But, like, I have no idea what, like, some people are going to be hearing. Like, a lot of people are probably going to listen to it and just be like, oh, God, what? But, like, I don't know, hopefully, like, good enough sound system. It's an awesome CD. Like, take my word for it.
Yeah, the sound is still video camera. Like, there's nothing. He did a lot. He changed a lot. He flattened everything. He put everything on balance. Like, from song to song, everything is on balance. And he tried to clarify as much sound as he could.
He saved this one song, like, for sure, like Pigeon Walk. Like, I was, like, a little, like, about the recording. It was kind of sketchy, but, like, I don't know what he did. But that's, like, one thing that was, like, a complete victory. Like, it was, like, the only decent recording of it we had, and he made it, like, acceptable.
And that was a song really hard to record to begin with because of all the metal percussion and all that. We couldn't, like, it would be ideal to multi-channel record that kind of song, but that's why we couldn't get a decent recording of it.
As I understand, you just stopped performing, right?
Yeah, the band stopped.
The band stopped.
John and I play with Tzachi and Lior as Beef Curtain Pow Pow.
One pow.
Sorry. And Nadav and I are working with the drummer of D9. We're not sure for the name, but Anal Sardina.
Maybe.
Sardines. Maybe.
And me and John working together on a hip-hop project called Pizzy Fist, which is kind of cute.
Maybe I'll play a song at the guitar. Maybe plug it. No.
I'll leave it alone. So we're still working together, but Jizzbox is not working anymore. But we still do music. We're still friends. Everything is cool.
And also, we have another CD coming out as Jizzbox. It was a whole story. Like, we were trying to record a couple songs, like, actually, like, record it with P.K. Kane's equipment. So we rented out, not rented out, we kind of just snuck into Uganda for the day. And we just told him, yeah, we're going to do a show tonight, so we need to come really early for some reason. And then, like, we just started trying to record the CD there. But, like, this is a weird story, and, like, I still don't understand this. Like, There is what it was supposed to be is a Jizzbox show and then Pika Kane show. But like on the flyer and like even like I remember seeing this like online like before, like it was advertised as Jizzbox versus Pika Kane, like Jizzbox and Pika Kane going one off in an improvised thing like a rap battle or something. And I didn't even know about that. I didn't agree to that. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do an improvised show with people I never played before. So then anyway, so like none of the recordings worked out there. But we ended up doing, you know, a show, a Jizzbox show, and then Pika Kane, like our last song, Pika Kane came in and started messing with one of the sounds, and then like I just walked, you know, down. I went to the bathroom. It was after the Jizzbox show. Then I went down to the you know, I was sitting with the crowd, and then I saw that Gabi was up there. I'm like, oh wow. And then I saw Nadav was up there. I'm like, oh, should I go up there? And then like a few minutes later, I went up there, and then we ended up just doing like literally like a Jizzbox versus Pika Kane like one-off improvised thing, and we have it all recorded, and it's awesome. And that's, I don't know when that's going to come out, but that is, there was certain issues with creative control over the cover of the CD, but I think that's sorted out and that's going to be out soon. So make sure to get that, because that's like the best thing I think we've ever done.
I have just to ask why Jizzbox is not functioning anymore as three of you.
I don't think we've ever really spoken about it, but it's just common sense that one thing, we can't continue doing the same songs. Like, we don't have so many songs, and literally, like, we can't do the same songs anymore. That was something we did at the time. It was very fitting, felt very good, but like, it would just be annoying for us all, I think, to do most of those songs again. And Nadav and I really, we're very good friends. We are really, but like, we fought all the time.
There was
like,
fights all over the place, and then eventually
about the music,
just
like
became
only
too much,
about the
kinda.
music. Just like he wanted to do this in a show, or he wanted to start the show like this, or wanted to just add another stupid like four or whatever, and like I just couldn't have it. Like it was completely unacceptable. I wanted to do the show, and like
What a fucking asshole, John.
I'm in a very sensitive place when I'm on stage. You know, if there's one thing bugging me and I can't get into the zone, you know, it's just gonna be crap.
Also, a lot of times someone was late to rehearsals, so
Too
wasn't serious
sensitive.
enough.
The guy is a little fewer, I might say.
You might, but I'll kick your ass. It was never an ego trip. It was always for the sake of the music. And then, like, one time, like, Nadav wrote this thing, the horror noise, we called it. This really cheesy synth thing.
It was really good the first time we did it, and then
Yeah.
it became shit.
Right, so he wanted to open up a show with it, and I just couldn't have it. It was just way too corny. And no offense, again, it just wouldn't have. So like we were freaking out and we were fighting about it, and then I remember like writing this giant essay, like this 3-page essay of a beautiful orchestrated lie, like this bullshit, like I'm telling you, Nadav, like logically why we can't do this. And like I called him on the phone, and this was the day of the show. And I called him on the phone and I read the essay to him, and I put so much work into it. Then he's just like, "Fuck you, no," and I'm just like, "Fine." And then like we were not gonna do the show, and like I think like it was like the last like it was it was like an hour before the show or 2 hours before.
Second show.
Yeah, I was praying, I was davening, and then I had this like great idea, like a compromise idea. So then like, you know, we got to the show and we worked it out and whatever. Like we came to a compromise, but there's stuff like that all the time between me and Nadav.
Yeah, and first of all, yeah, it's all the fighting and all that, and it started to be
Violent. We got into fist fights twice.
It really got to be violent. I even got a minor concussion from it.
What are you talking about? You got a minor concussion?
Yeah, I got a minor concussion.
One thing that had
I
nothing to do with
puked after
Jizzbox.
it.
That was after Jizzbox was
It
done.
doesn't
What
matter.
you're talking
the
about.
fightings, man. It doesn't matter. And even like we all got very busy. I moved to Tel Aviv and I started studying over there, and it's much harder now to come together as Jizzbox because we're used to work every day, like on a daily basis. We
At one
sweat
point,
our
yeah.
ass for like 7 hours a day, mostly a month before a show.
But that was the thing. We always had a show booked. Like we were always like practicing for a show. So it's like, okay, we got all the songs down. Now let's work on something new. Let's start experimenting. It's like, oh, I got to see Shanti. And then like we just couldn't progress. We had
Asshole.
like 9 songs or something. We could only do 7 live, and that's really all there is time for because of him. And that was that.
I think it's also the thing with, you know, when you try to create something and it goes maybe, you felt maybe just the songs were very, let's say, very instant and very intuitive, and then it became like a job. People were starting to expect something as a Jizzbox, let's say, as a name.
I think it was simply like, I'll give like just Machette as an example. Like that's a song like had a lot of energy, like and real emotion. Like when we first wrote it, and when I'd sing it the first bunch of times, but then it got like so methodical, and I was past that, like completely past that demon there. So it just was such like a scripted attempt. It felt like afterwards, and like people are expecting like high energy from Jizzbox, but like I was done with that. I didn't like even feel a need to like wail about that anymore. So like it was just became fake. So then like we only did 7 shows, and that was perfect. Like by the end I couldn't handle doing that song anymore. It was weak, and then that was that.
It's not the things that became different. It's the lack of change, I think, that made us get bored from our shit, from our music. Like even Machette is a good example for that.
And then Sandy Liver came along.
And then Sandy Liver came along, which is a great song, amazing song, but we didn't have we didn't create a new shit. Didn't took it to a different place, so we just got burnt out from it after a while. So yeah, as John said, it became fake to do a lot of shit. Yeah, even the faster clock out eventually became just a fun thing for me to play, but not music that I could honestly say that I'm standing behind.
Did you enjoy every show you did, eventually?
Every single show.
Eventually, yeah. Retrospectively, yes. Every show? Damn no. It was horrible. After every show, we looked at each other. Oh my god, man, that's the worst show we ever had.
That's not
after
true.
Every show.
Third show, like, even though that was the ultimate disaster show, but like ended up being one of our best shows, like, I just knew that that was a great show. Like, I had no reason to think that, but like Sixth show, it was funny. Like, Sixth show was probably our best show. And like I wasn't sure what I felt about that. It's always hard can't. But then like I remember when the Dove comes out, he's just like, "Yo, that was our worst show ever."
And it was,
damn.
yeah, it was probably the best.
And then
one.
like people were like pouring out, just like, "That was the best. That was the best." And Dove's like, "Best show ever."
At the Patifon.
That because that had the greatest sound system.
Volume. It was amazing.
And the guy was attentive. The guy from the Achsavot. He understood that we didn't know really what to do and what we were doing and how to handle it, but he was, anytime something was in need, he was on it, and it just was, most of our CD, I think, is from that show.
Okay, and just some final words about, the CD again, about the next show that's going to be on Monday in Uganda.
The next show is another improvised show with Jizzbox and Pika Kane. We done it before only once. We really enjoyed it. It was really, really good. We hope it's gonna be good as well. And I really want to thank Osnat for having us, nurturing us in a way, embracing us. And the Rosa, too bad it's closed now. What can you do? And the Uganda, I really want to thank the Uganda for having us also. And yep, Gabi, last word.
Buy the CD. Enjoy it.
Fight or die.
Thank you.